Hey buddy, it's Crazy Good Time 4 and welcome to some more Super Smash Bros. Brawl. In the last episode, we went through Classic Mode as, probably one of my favorite Pokemon, in the series, Lucario. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed playing as the Aura Pokemon himself. In this episode, we'll be going through Classic Mode as the last one and, one of the most iconic Pokemon, probably of all time, Jigglypuff. So Jigglypuff's gonna be interesting. Let's say that. So let's check out Jigglypuff's palette swaps. We got the regular pink Jigglypuff here. All Jigglypuff's palette swaps will sadly, not have a change color like basically at all. It's mainly just like, hats, kind of like Pikachu. So we got regular Jigglypuff right here. We got a Jigglypuff with a hibiscus, with a, I think that's like a nurse's hat, maybe? And with a sun hat. Oh, and also sleepy hat. That's another one. Sleepy hat Jigglypuff. And that's about it. I mean, the skin color kind of changes a little bit, but just barely. Like literally just barely. There's not much of a change. Anyways, let's get right into it. Let's get right into Jigglypuff's Classic Mode run. So Jigglypuff is a character in this game who has appeared in every single Smash game ever since, the first one. Confirmation of its appearance in Brawl, along with its fellow veteran Ness and newcomer Lucario, were leaked before the game's release through a promotional video on the Japanese website about sticker power-ups. It was later officially confirmed via the Smash Bros. Dojo on March 25th, 2008. So apparently Lucario and Ness are like two other characters who were revealed, or leaked, I guess, before the game, before they were officially revealed. Then we have in Melee and 64, it is once again, like in Melee and 64, it is once again voiced by Rachel Lillies in English and Mika Kanai in Japanese, albeit via recycled voice clips, while also being voiced by Virginie Demians and Dina Quertin in French and German respectively, replacing Julaine Gilbert and Mara Windsor from Melee, the latter two also voicing the Pokemon trainer in the French and German versions of Brawl. So I didn't really mention, all of the people who voiced Pokemon trainer in this game, but apparently two of the ones who used to voice Jigglypuff now voice, Pokemon trainer, which is pretty interesting. Did not expect that. Alright, Jigglypuff, if you guys, know, is really bad in this game. Jigglypuff used to be one of the best characters in Melee. I think it was like number 5 on the tier list. And Brawl kind of, screwed Jigglypuff over, just like what happened with Peach and Captain Falcon. How they were screwed over very, very badly. Because of the way Brawl works, like Brawl's mechanics and like its hit stun and whatnot. Since Captain Falcon and Jigglypuff both relied on hit stun in Melee to actually, do really well to like combo enemies and stuff like that. Jigglypuff still has like the really amazing air mobility and air game in general. But because there's like literally 0 to no hit stun in this game, it kind of makes it a little more difficult for Jigglypuff to really, do the stuff she was known to do. Jigglypuff, if you guys do not know, is of course an unlockable character in the game, where the methods of unlocking consist of playing 350 versus matches, finding Jigglypuff in the swamp after completing the Subspace Emissary. If you guys remember where that is. I think it's like the first door after fighting False Giant Diddy Kong, or completing 20 or more events after completing the Subspace Emissary. And then with all methods, the player must then defeat Jigglypuff on Pokemon Stadium 2. And yeah, there we have it. Now with Jigglypuff's special moves, starting off of course with the neutral special. Neutral special is Rollout. If I can just show it off very quickly. Alright, Rollout charges up in the ball and then dashes forward. Rollout is a very interesting move because if you use it, you can actually turn around pretty nicely. It's a pretty good move in terms of like its damage and knockback. Of course, that its damage, velocity, and knockback are determined by charge time. So of course, the more you charge it up, the better the move will be, although it will be a little more difficult to control, especially with like, charging up, with like turning around and whatnot. And if you use it you know, in the air, if like you go off stage with it, you're kind of screwed. Especially if you charge it up for a good amount of time. Yeah, it's not. Oh, hello, Moltres. What's happening? Did not expect you to come out of nowhere. Well, let's do it. Nice. And that does 8 to 18%. Now we have its side special, which was actually Jigglypuff's neutral special in Smash 64, if you guys remember. Pound. So Pound, Jigglypuff just punches forward, and it gives Jigglypuff some horizontal momentum. It's actually really good in the air because of its horizontal momentum. You can like really go with it. And it's like one of her best like aerial moves in terms of like, you know, getting back on stage and stuff like that. So, I mean, heck, it works well. It's a really good move. I mean, I remember in Smash 64 when board the platforms was a thing, Jigglypuff's Pound was actually really stinking useful. You had to use it. You had to alternate between Pound and a jump in order to actually get to the last platform. So that was pretty fun, I guess. I mean, it's a good technique, so use it when you can, because it will come in. Okay, Wolf, it will come in useful, that's for sure. It launches opponents either upward if hit close to Jigglypuff, or at a reverse horizontal angle if hit, or if they were to be hit with the tip of the arm. And deals high shield damage too, so it's a really good attack for breaking shields. In mid-air, it can apparently be aimed vertically, allowing it to significantly aid Jigglypuff's recovery if, you know, used repeatedly, which I just showed off. And so that is 11% in damage. Then we have Jigglypuff's up special, which is Sing. Sing is a pretty interesting move. It's not one of Jigglypuff's best moves, but it's still it's still decent in some situations. In melee, it was really good. So Sing, Jigglypuff just kind of sings, and while she sings, of course, there's like a bunch of, what's it called? Musical waves that come out of nowhere. And if anyone is actually in the range of those musical waves, then they will go to sleep. Kind of like that. And you can kind of just do whatever. The more damage they have, the more, you know, the longer they will fall asleep for. So that's something to, you know, keep in mind. That's why Sing is probably a really good move to use on opponents if they're at high damage. I thought I died for a second. I was really, I was about to be a little mad. If I can just kill him off, that'd be great. So Sing can only affect grounded. Wait, what? Oh yeah, Sing can only affect grounded enemies. So like, if you try using Sing on an opponent that's in the air, it's not gonna do anything. Oh, I thought I was gonna hit the bomb for a second. I was scared. It's not gonna do anything to them. They'll still be able to do whatever they want. They have to be on the ground in order for it to actually in order for the effect to actually take place. But enemies in a Subspace Emissary can take damage from the waves instead. They don't actually fall asleep, they just take damage. And in normal instances, Sing doesn't do any damage, but because it can do damage in Subspace Emissary on regular enemies, it does 5% damage. But only in Subspace. That is it. Bye bye, Pit. You're dead. Good stuff. Then we have Jigglypuff's down special, Rest. Very iconic move in Jigglypuff's arsenal. Takes a nap, where, you know, once that happens, a hitbox is able to come out at the center of Jigglypuff's body for 1 frame and undergoing a brief period of intangibility. It is active on frame 2, making it the fastest attack in Jigglypuff's arsenal, and deals powerful knockback, KOing Mario at 67% from the ground and DDD at 87%. However, it has very short range and an extremely long duration of 249 frames within 4 seconds, leaving it very punishable if the move misses or fails to KO the opponents. So it's a very risky move, that's for sure. If I'll try to show it off, it's gonna be really stinking difficult though. And I mean very, very difficult. It's easily Jigglypuff's most difficult move to show off. And that does 15% damage. I'm gonna try to show it off. Let me at least like, let me try to get rid of like everyone except one of them. That'd be great. There we go. There we go. Nice, nice. Okay, 3 more. What is it saying? Jigglypuff? I thought it says DDD. That's what it sounds like. There we go. Okay, let's try this. The best way to do this, honestly, is to sing the opponent to sleep, and then use it, but it only, like, once, you know, as I mentioned, it only works really well on high percentages. Oh, I hit him too, but he blocked it. If I can just show it off very quickly, please. There we have it. If you time it well, Jigglypuff will do a lot of knockback and damage with rest. It's a very good move, but because of how bad it is in Brawl, it's not nearly as reliable as it used to be. Especially in like, because I remember in Melee, it was a pretty stinking good move. Like it worked, because the hitbox was better. That's the reason why. The hitbox of rest was way better in Melee, and that's why it was able to work so much better than it does in Brawl. It's a shame that Brawl kind of like ruined a bunch of characters. I still love the game so much, I really do, but it's such a shame that like so many characters, you know, got the bad end of the stick, you know, because of like its physics and stuff like that. Oh, Bowser, by the way, or just rest works very well on bigger opponents because, you know, it's much easier to hit them. So it will work way better on like someone like Bowser than someone on like Pikachu. So just a word of, you know, just to make sure you know, because only because of its hitbox, it's so bad. Wow, that was really good. See, Jigglypuff is still bad in this game, but her air mobility, her air game is amazing, and will probably always be amazing. And finally, we have Jigglypuff's final smash, Puff Up, where Jigglypuff slowly puffs up, and then at the apex of the move, any characters touching Jigglypuff will be pushed away and then launched horizontally as it deflates. So it's a very, very interesting move. I don't even think that is a move from the Pokemon games. I think it's like a Brawl exclusive game. Same with Triple Finish, of course, but I think most moves are Brawl exclusives, like are Smash exclusives, and don't originate from any like video game. At least with like Final Smashes, most of them anyways. Although Volt Tackle, if I'm not mistaken, Volt Tackle I believe is a move, and maybe Aura Storm. I'm not 100% sure, but Aura Storm might be a move. Might be an actual move in the Pokemon games. But then finally, now that we have, you know, all that said and talked about, we're at Master Hand, let's just show Jigglypuff's taunts. Check him out a little bit. So up taunt spins on one leg and says Jigglypuff while puffing up a little bit. Then we have side taunt. Spins very fast and then stops. And then finally, down taunt. Waves his arms in the air and then flattens and floats down. Apparently, this is Jigglypuff's feint animation in battles in the home console Pokemon games. So like Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon Battle Revolution. If Jigglypuff were to feint, that would be its feinting animation. I remember I played Smash. I mean, it might have been Brawl or Smash 4, but I was playing one of them with Zach one time, and he told me that that taunt is in Battle Revolution. I'm like, really? And he's like, that's cool. It's like it's feint in Battle Revolution. But yeah, there we have it. Clearfield losing a life too. Good stuff, Jigglypuff. I'm really, really surprised I didn't lose a single life as Jigglypuff. I'm usually pretty, I guess bad. I don't know. I'm not the best at Jigglypuff. Not really one of my go-to characters like at all. No matter what Smash game it is, I don't really play Jigglypuff like all that much at all. In some situations maybe, but even then, I'm just not a big Jigglypuff kind of guy. So I'm really surprised I did better at someone like Jigglypuff than what? Pokemon Trainer? Because I would say I would do better as Pokemon Trainer in general than I would do Jiggles. But you know what? Classic is a different story. It's I don't know. It's strange. It's hard to talk about. Jigglypuff's looking a little doozy there. That's pretty. Or dazed. Actually, dazed is a much better word for this. But yeah, that's Jigglypuff. Let's go ahead. Also, look at that high score. 600, 600. That's pretty funny. I mean, just like literally the exact same number repeated twice. Let's go into training mode and check out Jigglypuff's final smash, Puff Up, because this one is very, very interesting, and I mean very interesting. I've never really liked it all that much because it's probably one of the worst final smashes in the game. It's only, On big stages, okay, you know what? Puff Up is one of those Final Smashes where how well it works depends on the size of the stage. So like a stage like Final Destination, it'll probably work very, very well. So this is Puff Up. As you can see, Snake got shot off like really far from Puff Up. Puff Up does do damage, does 17%, but that's only if like, I think that's only if you hit them as Jigglypuff's deflating. So yeah, and that's simply it. There's a fun little glitch you can do with Puff Up on, I think, the Bridge of Elden stage. Because there's this one point where the bridge explodes, like the middle part of the bridge explodes and just like disappears. And because of that, later on, there's a ship that comes out of nowhere and repairs the bridge. If you use Puff Up while the bridge is being repaired, Jigglypuff will get frozen as Big Jigglypuff, and it's just the funniest thing. You can just play as Giant Jigglypuff. It's so funny. I love it. But yeah, so let's go ahead and check out Jigglypuff's trophy. The final Pokemon of the game. Let's go ahead. Pokemon, Jigglypuff. Balloon Pokemon. It invites, I thought it said it inflates. It invites opponents in close with its big, round eyes, then puts them to sleep with a calming song. The secret to the song's unfailing efficiency is... No, that's not efficiency, what is that word? Efficacy? I'll just say efficiency. It's Jigglypuff's ability to sync on the wavelength that will make its opponent the sleepiest. It also uses Attract to infatuate opponents to touch it. It uses a Moonstone to evolve into Wigglytuff. And again, we have our Pokemon Red and Blue for Game Boy, and Pokemon Diamond and Pearl for the Nintendo DS. And with that, that'll be it for today's episode of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Thank you guys so much for watching. In the next one, we head to Classic Mode as one of my personal favorite characters, Swordsman Marth. This one's gonna be great. I do like Marth quite a lot. So this is, I feel like this is gonna be a pretty good episode. So with that, subscribe, like, comments, all that good stuff. Social media, including Twitch, is of course down below in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Pop-Tart out.